Hello and welcome to this special edition of On Air, the listener and the viewer's voice. This is a corporate magazine show of ZNBC. Well, this program today is special in that we have privileged actually to interview and talk to our Director General Chibamba Kanyama, outgoing Director General Chibamba Kanyama. Right after this short break, I'll get interactive with him. But before we go to that, here is what the staff of ZNBC had to say about Chibamba and how they worked with him in this clip.
But I started out by looking up to you, and then you were a source, and then you were the boss. And throughout that experience, throughout that journey, I must say that you're one of the people that I can actually seriously look up to, and I wish you all the very best. I hope that you spare us a vacation or two, come through and share Shima with us and share stories about the US. We're really, really super proud of you.
I'd like to thank you for showing professionalism in handling all our procurement issues, and I want to wish you well wherever you're going, and God's blessings. Thank you.
Personally, of course, I will really miss him. I will really miss him. But then it's for the good of all of us. It shows that ZNBC has quality. It also shows that Zambia has quality.
We initiated the change of name from what is traditionally called a library to an information resource center, which I personally agreed with him, because we are in the information sector and we should look beyond the traditional way of providing information to people, as in records, tapes, name them. But we should go beyond that to begin to do research and provide information to those that seek it.
He's a great mentor when it comes to, because he's been here, he's been through this system. So in terms of mentoring you, doing interviews or who to come up with the questions and the like, he's got that passion. You could tell that this is a person who's got that passion and he wants to pass on those skills to youngsters like me.
Well, David, a word for Chibamba.
Chibamba, I wish you all the best and thanks for the confidence you had in me and my team. We did a good job.
Especially for us that love football. I know that he supports Arsenal just like me, and would have this football chat every Mondays from the weekend on how Arsenal fared and stuff. I think for me, he's a down-to-earth man, and I'll miss him personally. And I just wish him all the best where he's going at the IMF. And I know that the IMF will benefit a lot from this great personality that Chibamba has.
A lot of us were inspired, also because I think for me, you looked at the youth. You really like to work with young people and try and help them grow. And I think that as a people, we should learn from that, because at times we get comfortable in the zones where we are at.
Congratulations, Chibamba. We're going to miss you. We thank you for everything that you've done for the corporate affairs, for the mentorship that you've given to us. We will really miss you.
I'm doing this for my brother. Hold on.
I'll miss you all. I'm ready.
Yeah, you're ready.
So I really pay great gratitude to you for having made me a better worker. I think I can only assure you that I will not let you down. That which you set as a very high bar for me shall continue to be so.
He's going there as ambassador for this country, and is opening the doors for most of our young people in this country. If it performs very well, it means you'll have opened the door for many Zambians. I think we've had the other nationals from other countries who have occupied these international organizations. It's high time that Southern Africa, especially Zambia, opened up the door for this.
Thank you so Welcome back. You are watching On Air, the listener and the viewer's voice. Wow, what a privilege to host himself, Chibamba Kanyama.
Thank you. I'm also privileged to be hosted by Hezron once again.
Thank you, sir. Good. Well, Chibamba, you've just heard it for yourself, and you've seen what the members of staff of ZNBC that you worked with had to say about you. How do you take those comments?
First of all, I'm greatly humbled to hear those comments, because in most cases you feel like you're hard on your people, you're hard with your team, and dominating, pushy. There are moments when I reflected very seriously as to whether I was not pushing people too far. And you would expect that they would start complaining and begin asking questions about where this person has come from. Now, listening to those comments somehow show that we synchronized. Actually, we worked as a team. So we appreciated our efforts as a team. I am less guilty as I was before I saw the clip.
Among the comments that we're running here, I noticed someone say they don't even know whether they worked under you or with you. That's the highest code of principles in leadership, when someone cannot even notice the heavy hand of authority of a leader. How do you achieve that?
I have accepted my leadership style over years, in that I distinguish between the office I'm holding and the person who I am. The office has its own etiquettes, it has its own procedures, its own processes, and it has a stamp of authority. I am just entrusted among the many to manage that office of Director General. So when I'm managing that office, I'm very, very sensitive that I'm as much an employee of an institution as anyone else. So I must work with everyone, because we apparently are in a stage where we no longer autocratic. We're living in a world where we call it a learning institution. And learning means the Director General apparently learns more from the people he's leading than he is able to give more to the people he's leading. And that's why I find me interacting with people over the corridors, in the canteen. It is not strange. I know people found it very difficult to see how I mingled with everyone, but that is my leadership skill, and it delivers so much to my goals.
Wow. I understand that you worked here as a young producer and a young person, energetic, of course, according to what the comments have said in that clip. Having worked in ZNBC and left ZNBC, you might have come across some blunt and open views about ZNBC and how it was running. I want you to just help us look at the challenges that ZNBC was going through then, and also how you managed during your time as DG when you came back in addressing those perceptions that people held and discussed with you.
There are internal perceptions. The internal perceptions were merely about lack of teamwork, and you found the institution at the time when we worked here divided between radio and television, engineering and so forth, but working together somehow. We had people feeling much more superior than the others. We kind of looked down on those that worked in Radio 1 or local languages. We thought we were much more educated and enlightened and exposed than the others. But when you look at what has happened, you find there is no one who is much more exposed than the other. Those are departmental assignments. So in coming back, I had to ensure that we break those walls. People begin to see one another as part of the larger team to deliver value for the corporation. But the external side of it is the people, the viewers and listeners, unfortunately, don't have much respect for broadcasters, especially for ZNBC. And I see it, I hear it, I observe it, that they think that we are not as much educated as the rest of society. They think we just here by privilege, but not that we deserve to be here. We are not as enlightened, we are not deep enough. And there is so much gossip about my young ladies who work here, and people have got their own perceptions about them. But when you're inside, you realize that these people are apparently highly schooled, very schooled. Talk about the engineering department. I have worked Zambian breweries with engineers. I've worked elsewhere. I've observed in many places, and you find the caliber of our engineers, both in terms of discipline and professionalism and skill, among the best in Zambia. And they deserve to be respected, just as much as we ought to respect the broadcasters. It's a beautiful thing to work for ZNBC. Not many people have that privilege to work here.
Yeah.
So I have worked hard with the rest of others to change that perception so that people begin to see us for what we are and not for what they think we are.
Very good. Very good. I'm proud. I'm proud to have worked under you.
Sure, sure.
It's a very interesting view. Now, Chibamba, you spoke highly of systems and at work culture, and these are attitudes that probably you found that were coming in between the output of staff in terms of productivity. I want to check, how do you see the improvement of staff in terms of achieving those values in terms of attitudes in giving out output?
About 2 weeks ago, I was reading the newspaper and I came across a page in the Post where there was an advert about ZNBC. It was a colorful advert done by the commercial and marketing department. And I said, I didn't know about this. This is a huge surprise for me. And I exclaimed, I shouted, I said, this is it. I now got it. I said, I now got it. And I quickly phoned around to know who was behind this. I wanted to know who was behind this advert. It brought the faces of people in sales, whom people should contact in case they wanted to advertise for the FIFA World Cup. The faces and telephone numbers, nicely designed. And I said, this can't be ZNBC I've known before. Taking personal initiative, innovative society, that is what I wanted to deliver. Finally, people are no longer waiting for me to think for them. People are now thinking on their own within the boundaries of their responsibilities. To me, that denotes, it does provide us a final analogy of what I wanted to deliver, what the vision was, to ensure that the systems begin to work well, where individuals know their positions, like in football, where to pass the ball when they have the ball, where to position themselves when somebody else has the ball, so that you don't have to be told, go to that left, go to the right. On your own, use your initiative by knowing your result area where you must be, so that you can deliver the results as a team. And interestingly, up to now, no one has told me who did that. They're all saying we did it as a team. And that alone speaks to me that ZNBC have begun to understand that you can never win through individualism. We perform and we win as a team. And Zambians are yet to see the best in the coming months and coming years.
Wow. Well spoken. Chibamba is an Arsenal supporter. So you understand when he talks about passing the game, passing the ball. When the ball is in your court, make sure that you pass it to the right person who's going to score, or if you are not in the position to score. We take a musical break, and when we get back, we continue with Chibamba Kanyama on this On Air, the listener and the viewer's voice. welcome back. You're watching On Air, the listener and the viewer's voice. The music you just watched was recorded right here in the studios of ZNBC. And if in case you are interested in that music, it's sold right here at ZNBC. Well, we're talking to Chibamba Kanyama, outgoing DG, Director General of ZNBC. Chibamba, welcome back to the program.
You.
Great. Chibamba, would you say you have achieved your vision in laying down enough a benchmark where the incoming DG should build upon?
I see myself as having been part of the relay, a long race. And there came a time when the baton was passed on to me. I did my part. You know, you have to run, perhaps if it's a 400-meter relay, you run 100, four of you, one runs 100 portion, another 100 portion, and you expect to run the whole 100, the entire 100 meters. But along the way, at times, you get a knock, the person in front of you come back so that he will run the rest of the race. You run 80. And for that 80, I did deliver. And I'm confident that whoever would carry on the mantle to move forward will even run faster, because I gave that little speed to the race so that we can win at the end of the day. And I'm very, very confident that the person who will come in will even do much, much better, because we kind of drew the line which anyone can follow. People should not be scared to come in now. Things may not be the way they should have been, but I'm 100% sure that this is the beginning of good things, especially with digital migration now coming in force. So yes, we're getting there.
You highly spoke of systems, and systems are a good thing in any institutions. What is it that someone who's just walking into ZNBC will be able to notice that these are the systems that Chibamba spoke about?
Systems speak of three things. Systems speak of structures, that an organization must have structures of authority, the command lines, and those must be identified. People in engineering, they know their hierarchy. They know this one is responsible for this. So they know their task areas, or what we call the results areas. It's about structures. Programs must know this is my responsibility, my supervisor this one, and the supervisor must have a level of authority commensurate with their position. And it also speaks of procedures, that, look, ZNBC is the final authority. I have had interesting cases where some of my staff, because of the history, were much more inclined to forces outside, and you find them having much more command coming from outside the corporation, and they begin to effect things internally without the authority coming from our office or from their supervisors. And there were moments when those relationships withered, and the external force and the internal person started fighting each other, and the external force, using that influence, would now want that person dismissed or disciplined, but they know that they have no authority to discipline anyone here. So they'll phone my office, can you discipline this one? And I say, look, after all, you know, there's a procedure by which we do things. I won't. I will never put my signature on that. You dance to what you did. I will never do it. So it is about procedure. ZNBC is an organization, and an organization has a way things are done. Follow procedure in everything. So we have to lay a force or a layer of procedure how things must now be done. There is a procedure with that structure of authority. And the third one is called processes. Processes speak about a machine that from here, the next person is this. Again, coming back to the issue of football, the process of the goalkeeper having the ball must know where to give it. You have to give it to the center back gives the midfielder gives the left wing or right wing, and that one crosses inside. So when Rooney is in the box, he knows that at this point I don't expect the ball, because there's a process under which it must pass. And coming into ZNBC, process is about the signature. Before anything is executed, the DG is the final authority. That's a process. Before a payment is made by finance, there must be a process that is fulfilled. Before an employee goes out for training, a process must be followed. So there's a process, a chain of events that must be connected with each other to have the final result. That was not so much there in certain areas of ZNBC. It was very strongly there in engineering, but in other sections it was kind of disconnected. And we had to come and piece together this process so that now people begin to know that for me to go out for training, I don't have to lobby DG or buy him a sausage, Hungarian sausage. It will just come because there's a process of, for example, performance appraisals, personal development plans. That's a process by which people can now know that within 2 years I must be able to go to that position. But before I get to that position, I must achieve this degree or this certificate or this paper or this training. So that is a process we began to introduce.
Very interesting and well spoken. Chibamba, as we wind up the program, I'd like to find out what are your happiest moments here at ZNBC?
You caught me napping because there are a lot of happy moments, especially when we would go out to OYDC every October doing team building and playing football. I never saw moments like that where you start cheering one another as a team. I think that to me was part of my happiest moments. And I enjoyed my time with my management team, what we call the executive management team, where we would laugh. And I think it would make so much noise from the boardroom for the sales department that lies right down. We had moments of bitterness and anger and shouting at one another, but we always concluded our meetings joyfully. So I had teams like Tom Jovu, a lot of other people who were comedians and musicians. I loved the ZNBC team that would sing together. Well, I think I loved all that. So just being part of this team of ZNBC made me so joyful and happy. And I'll miss everyone, genuinely so.
Well, I would like to say thank you on behalf of the staff. And this is the book that you just gave all the members of staff. Actually, not all the members, but some of the members are privileged to get a copy of the book that you gave. There's Achievement Values for Young Adults. I think this book will go a long way in making sure that we learn a lot from you and just the knowledge that you have shared with us from this book. So, Chibamba, I'd like to say thank you so very much for picking an appearance on the program.
Beautiful. I wish you well and do better every time.
Thank you so very much, sir.
Thank you.
Good having you. Wow. That was the man himself, Chibamba Kanyama, our outgoing Director General of ZNBC. We're so happy for him and we wish him well. Well, in case that you'd like to get in touch with the producer of this program, simply write to the producer on air, Zambia National Broadcasting Corporation, at PO Box 50015, Lusaka. Well, in case you are interactive, you're on Facebook, simply like My ZNBC on Facebook, and you can as well follow us. Our Twitter handle is My ZNBC. Till next time, see you and God bless you.